Okay, so how to write a one-page business plan. Our Grow Weekly session here, March 22nd. If you do have any questions, whether you're watching this live or afterwards, please do reach out to myself, Laura Dunkley, and my information is there, as well as Emily. If you want to follow us at Acorn, the QR code is there, as well as it's acornstudio.marketing is our website. So what is a business plan? So a business plan serves as that roadmap, right? Just like planning a trip, we're planning our business, and it outlines the goals and objectives of the business, as well as the strategies and tactics needed to achieve those goals. Provides a clear and concise picture of the company, including its market, competition, products or services, operations, management, and financial projections. So why and when do we need it? Well, when we're starting a business, especially if it's a new business, we need to do a lot of research. We need to make sure we create that plan. If you're expanding your business, for sure, it's a time to review your initial plan and then add to it to make sure that you have the resources and funding and know what the next steps are going to be. If you're selling a business, it's a good time to review it just to make sure your ducks are in a row, and you're going to want to present that to the new buyer. If you're also looking for funding, I was just on one of the websites that I mentioned, Innovation Canada, and they tell you all the things you need to do when you need to apply for funding. A bank as well, they're going to ask for your business plan. So make sure that you keep that handy and then you update it whenever you need funding. A new partnership, if you're expanding or bringing on a partner, you're going to want to provide them with your plan. And then for today, mostly this one-page business plan, as much as our business plans no longer are, documents that take a year or two to create and sit on a shelf somewhere and you look at it once a year. Business plans, you still need to have them, but they're updated more frequently. And then you also need a section of that, which is the one page that we're going to get more in detail with, so that you can actually have something in mind to remind you of where you want to go. And that's when you're doing mostly that management and operations. So that business plan has typically an executive summary. It has a description of your business, market analysis, products and services that you're selling to generate revenue. How are you going to promote it and sell through to your ideal client is your marketing and sales strategy. How are you going to operate your business? Is this direct to consumer? Or do you have a multiple team? Are you outsourcing? Put some notes in about operations, management and organization, financial projections, the budget piece. That's really important. And then any appendices and supporting documents that you might have that kind of falls outside of this, but it supports it. So that's the big business plan that you're going to want to have. There is a good resource at idmississauga.ca on how to develop your business plan. So if you haven't even started and you haven't done one, it's a really good program. They also do different programs. There's this Ontario does Starter Company Plus program, and then there's a few other ones too. So if you really do want help doing a business plan, there are people that will actually help develop that. You still have to be very much a part of it. And then there's programs that will run to help you do it. You can hire a consultant, or you can just do it yourself. So business plan for the sales and marketing piece, which is typically where we're kind of focused. And today specifically, even though it's going to be relevant to everyone, but sales and marketing, it's that product and service. Make sure you know what you're selling. It's quite surprisingly that, and even if you're in a not-for-profit, you are still selling something. Or if you're an artist and you're not sure, you just want to create art, but you still have to sell something. You still have to have revenue coming in. So make sure you have identified that. What's your competitive advantage? What sets you apart from the rest of the people that you're competing against? Why are they going to choose you? Really get honed in on that ideal client. Now in your business plan, big business plan, you're going to have that segment, your different segments that you're targeting, but then really focus in on who that ideal client is. And then your vision and mission statement, giving you direction and how you're going to get there. And value added proposition, what's that selling piece to your to your ideal client. What's going to position you in the market that you have that value that they want to take? Goals and objectives from your business goals, sales goals and marketing goals all have to be aligned up to your business goals. So make sure that's there. Make sure it's smart, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. And that gives you some accountability. And if you're not sure what that is, maybe you're not sure what those goals or how long it's going to take you to get there, write it down and create a benchmark as you learn from there. Budget, how much do you have for sales and marketing? How much do you have for your other parts of your business? Really clear. So you'll want to start first with your overall budget and then make sure that you know how much you have for sales and marketing. And then that SWOT. So it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Now you're going to want for the business plan to do an overall, strengths, weaknesses. We're going to talk a little bit more about what those are, but also when you get to sales and marketing, reevaluate that as you do your sales and marketing strategy specifically for what you have. So you might be a graphic designer and you have a really good ability to do that. So you're not going to outsource that, but maybe your weakness is financials. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to do that. Or maybe you're strong in sales. It's like, I can do my own sales, but I definitely need to have extra help with the marketing. So really think through and evaluate your overall sales SWOT, and then specifically for each individual strategy. So today is a little bit adding on to that. So we take their vision, mission, value added proposition. That all has to be part of that big plan, right? But then we want to talk about your positioning statement. And that's a really clear compass, focus, where I want to go, because that helps you identify where you are in the market, how you compete, and that value that you're offering. And it pulls together your target audience. So I'm going to show you because this has to be part of your one pager. So that positioning statement, this is what it does and it's what it's going to say. And I will challenge you guys, if you have one, drop it in the chat if you feel comfortable with it. And at the end during discussion, we can actually go over this and help develop your positioning statement afterwards. So this is just a template. So for your target market, who is that? Who needs what? What do they need? What's the problem that you're solving? And then your company provides, what are those key benefits that you are offering beyond your competitors that are really going to set you apart? Because, which is the reason why your target market should believe you are special, right? So you are offering these benefits because they really need this, that they there's a gap in the market. And so this helps you pull that positioning statement as a clear statement. So on your one page business plan, you're going to have a clear view all the time that that's where you're going towards. So it includes a description of your target market, what their needs are, how your business will meet those needs, what differentiates you from the competition with what you're offering, and why the consumers are going to believe what you're telling them. Why, which is part of that marketing, right? If you're telling them this, what's your brand story? What's your identity? What's your promise? Why are they going to actually believe that? And so that's going to be part of your positioning statement. So this is what it looks like, the one pager. Now I have this in visual mode because we're going to go into Miro afterwards, but you could do this, print it. I'll make sure that the templates are all available in your member portal afterwards. And then you can either put sticky notes on your Miro, you can print it out, you can write on it, and I'll also make an editable version. So it's going to have your positioning statement up the top. It's going to have a place where you can quickly, just high level, write your products and services. Revenue, yeah, it's not going to have your whole financials, but really pull out what do you need to see every month or on an ongoing basis. You want to know what those targets are. What's that gross revenue? What is what are your kind of main expenses, cost of goods sold, and what is that target you need to hit every month to grow your business? Now, all of these are going to be something you're going to update. You could create one for 6 months. You can create it for a year. I wouldn't go beyond a year because you'll want to make sure it's updated. Business goals, ideal client, take highlights from that persona that really matters to the identity of your ideal client. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. There's your SWOT. Channels and activities. So your channels are all your sales and marketing channels, right? From digital, traditional, and conversational. We'll get into that during the demo. Activities are what are those tactics that you're actually going to use through those channels? What are those marketing materials? What are those events? What are those things you're going to do to actually sell and market to your ideal client? And then targets are your high level sales and marketing targets. And then there's a second page because you can flip it over or you can have a second page. And this is really just that calendar and it's an extension of your activities. So what are you going to actually do every month to do it? And after every quarter, really put your goals down ahead of time and then evaluate it with the results. Did I make it? Did I not make it? And if I didn't make it, how come? Make sure you do some notes. And if I did, oh my goodness, this is what I did to actually get there, and keep track of these because it's always good to go back and lessons learned. And then I would just repeat this, print and repeat it every 6 months. So this is what you guys are going to get. Have access to our Grow members. It will be free. It'll also be as a download on our Acorn Studio Marketing. And we're going to run over there and it has a whole bunch of instructions and how you're going to do it. And we will go in and have a look. So let's do that. So you can see this. Can you, my Miro board? Okay. Let me know if there's any trouble seeing it. I'm going to record this. Keep this recording available for afterwards too, because we did have some questions from people on how to use Miro. So if you haven't had a chance to sign up, Miro.com, it's an online whiteboard that allows you to pretty much do everything that you would normally do in a whiteboard. But virtually. So you can have it as an ongoing tool. We go in and do brainstorming all the time. We also have it so that if we have virtual teams, we do it in workshops, things like that, so that so many different people can jump in. And you can do, over here on the left is all your toolbars with sticky notes, little pointers. If you haven't, pen tools, so if you have an iPad, if you haven't had a chance to play around with it and you want more information, we do have a link here that will go over to an instructional board that will take you through a bunch of things. But when we provide you this link, and you're going to get this link available, which will be the board that will be shared, what you have to do is actually create a copy of it for yours. And this little screenshot shows it, but just to show you here under settings, you just go into highlight over board and you're going to see here and make a copy. And instantly, so you'll want to make sure your Miro board you're logged in, you make a copy and poof, it's there. It will actually say copy of one-page business plan. Rename it, put it to what you know so that it's yours, and it will actually be a board onto your Miro account. So that's really what you have to do. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, let us know. And that's the instructions to getting started. For the business plan, this is what you are going to get. So you'll get the actual template that you can use in sticky note. And so this afterwards, when it's your copy, you can delete whatever you want, right, to make it nice and clean. So you'll have the template for you, you'll have an activity calendar, and then also on number 3 and 4, I've given you the instructions. So let's head over. That's your business plan template, and you can start to use it as you want. Feel free to put in, this is my product. And you can see how you can do that, and you can even make it smaller. Now you can zoom really far in. I've made this so it's easy to put on a PowerPoint slide, so it's quite small, but the zoom capability is wonderful. You can even change the colors based on your different, see, maybe that's my product. And then we want, maybe this is my service. And so you can list all your services. Maybe we do a different color for services. So that's there. For the positioning statement, I would recommend dropping in a text block. Insert text here. And it doesn't do any type of editing. So you'll want to do your editing and get the final version and drop it in here. But you could also start putting in sticky notes to brainstorm if that works better for you as well. Revenue, this is where I would put in some notes on, those high level things. We'll show you the instructions, but basically the gross, right? What is your cost of goods sold? Maybe it's your fixed and variable expenses, and bottom of the line, what we have to make, what we're going to make every month or every year. You could do a whole annual one. Business goals, ideal clients in here, channels and activities. I'm going to just skip through this quickly because we'll go to the instructions. And this is where your annual calendar is. And I would suggest using stickies because they're so much easier, because then you can move them around, especially for this one. So activities, so maybe we want to do a marketing campaign here. Maybe we're going to launch a new product. Launch new product. And then you go, oh my goodness, we have too much going on this month. So then you can just click, so left click and drag, right click, just to let you know, on the board itself, moves it around. I don't know if you guys knew that, but left click here is a selection, left click will move it around. So that's where this is a really fun way to see what works and what doesn't work. So if you are launching a product here and you're going to start the marketing campaign here, what you can do is see that little connector over here, a little arrow, and I highlight this guy and I put it over here, and now it's connected to it. So we might want to change that color. We might want to put it into little dots. And so if you move that around, it moves with it. And so what that allows you to do is actually to see the path of activities. So if you know you have to launch this product, what are the activities that you need to do to actually get there? So a marketing campaign, maybe you need to write blogs, and then maybe we're going to do some paid promotions, paid promos. And at the end of it all, you need to sell X number of product, right? All of a sudden now it's like, okay, that guy is part of the campaign. We're going to do paid promos. I'm going to Control C, Control V also works, the wonderful quick commands on here. And I can do it again, and look, poof, there's my goal. So now I would suggest maybe doing the goals a different color. And see how visual that is? Now you can't do this until you have that business plan. That one-page plan also comes from your big business plan. And just as much as I say it's a one-page business plan, you do have to have the foundational business plan first, put those actionable key items in, and then let's make it happen. And the whole idea of the one-page business plan is it's actionable. Give me just the right information to help me manage and promote my business. So then that's it. That's the one-pager. Let's just run over here a little quickly. I'm going to zoom out. You will have all of the instructions, pretty much what I just said here. So about listing the products, the budget, 6 month, 1 year, don't go beyond a year. And definitely evaluate everything every 6 months. Description of your target, we put that in here already, right? The positioning statements for here. Your ideal client, I know it's small. Ideal client, we put this down here. Do that full target audience evaluation for your persona. If you don't, or you missed our target audience session, we have that recorded as well in the portal. SWOT, we talk about that. Sales and marketing channels. What I do want to call out here is that this little thing is your digital. That's your website. That's all your online stuff. But don't forget traditional. That's media outreach. That's print. That's flyers. There's some businesses where traditional actually makes sense. And then conversational is really where sales comes in typically. Even online DMs, LinkedIn, book a discovery call, going to a trade show, things where you're actually going to interact. Don't forget to capture those. And then activities are the specifics of what you're actually doing through those channels. And then identify the sales and marketing targets, which will be aligned with your business goals. So you're going to see right away the business goals and your targets. And so you'll be able to say, yep, it aligns with this one, and it's all on one page. And then, as we mentioned, here is your activity calendar, set your goals, and then document your results.